Even though she's space British, so she would be drinking tea and not coffee.
Space British?
Space British.
I'm a monster. I'm a monster.
Hi guys. What's up? So, quite obviously by this point you figured out I'm making, I hope you figured out, I'm making Jyn Erso. What this all is the beginning stages. I wanted to show you my before. A lot of Jyn is found objects, which, to be fair, is like most of my Luke was found objects, because the only thing I made for both Luke costumes was the jacket. Everything else was just brown pants, black boots, black shirt. Star Wars costumes are to a certain percentage found in altered objects, and then there's always like the one piece that you gotta make. For Jyn, the one piece I really gotta make is gonna be her vest. Starting with what I have this huge gray knit scarf, which is a little thick. Everyone else seems to be using a gray linen, but this is a gift bought specifically for me for this costume, and it's nice and soft and warm, so I can use it. Everything I got otherwise, I got from Goodwill. These pants, this belt, this turtleneck, which I'm going to alter. I'm going to cut the sleeves. I'm going to alter the neckline. The pants, the only thing I have to do is she has weird pleating on the shins here, so I'm going to pleat the shins. Gloves are $6 on Amazon. Don't buy them. I'm full of regret. For her jacket, I bought another turtleneck, and what I'm going to, in a darker blue, as you can see. Her colors are very similar. A lot of people I've seen have done like a more greenish teal shirt for her undershirt. The movie, it definitely is a lot bluer. What I'm going to do is just cut and hem down the front, and then on the sleeves, she has the trademark Star Wars pleating detail in dark brown. So we use some dark brown to add her little sleeve pleating, and then that's the jacket. It's like two things done. The vest is the biggest piece. So what I have here is the top of an old jean button-up dress, and it's the perfect shape. It's got, I looked at a lot of patterns online, and they were confusing and hand-drafted, and I wasn't about it, so I'm going to take this apart and use it for my pattern for her vest, which I'm going to make with red lining, and then this brown. Now this is a very light brown, but I'm going to weather it with a lot of dirt, so it'll be fine. And then to make it puffy, because I'm not a savage who's going to sit there and stuff individual little quilted squares, I'm going to do the same thing I did with my Luke Skywalker award ceremony jacket, which is put a layer of fleece in between both of my layers, so that when I quilt stitch, it will puff up as if it was full of batting, but it's not, because I'm a lazy bastard. And then I have these awful brown leather and faux leather purses from Goodwill that I'm going to rip apart and make the holster for my gun, which will attach to this belt, which I have to fix the buckle of because it is golden and hideous. Okay, so that's pretty much all I've got for Jyn now. So now that you've seen it in its original glory, I'm going to rip every single piece apart.
So I want to talk a little bit about some of my props. I have Jyn Erso's blaster and the, oh, that's an awful noise, her baton, which I absolutely love. They were 3D printed props I bought off of Etsy from a shop called Printalier, I believe. They were like almost $100 for the set, and they came from Europe. I want to say they came from like Romania. And I waited 2 months for them, and they were 150% worth it. I absolutely adore them. And then for boots, originally the boots I bought were these little booties from Five Below, and I was going to darken them and put the little spats and details over them, because this is, the heel's the right size, the general shape is right, and in the movies, or if you look at pictures from costume exhibits that people have taken, her boots are like pretty much this length. they ended up being too wide away from like my ankles, and they don't really, I'm not as comfortable in them as I thought I would be. So I went to Plato's Closet and I found these. So they already come with this little strap piece that her boot has. So I'm just going to have to basically make spats and get, I guess, foam or something to make the little metal detail clasp. And yeah, they're a little bit higher than the ankle length, but I'm so much more comfortable with these. I feel like they're so much more authentic. They make more sense in my mind to like who Jyn is and her character, so I'm going to use these instead. So it's time to start working on her shirt. I put the shirt on inside out, and I marked a little unevenly with some black Sharpie here where the first seam that goes across her shirt is, and how much I need to take off of her sleeves. So I'm going to do that. I cut the sleeves too short, I think. As you can see, I have the shirt on. However, it didn't come out right. The collar is too stiff. The cotton of the turtleneck is too, like, firm to really flop over the way Jyn's collar flops over. And I think that's because the shirt she actually wears is made of linen, whereas this is just strictly knit cotton. So I'm going to keep this for a while because it is wearable, it is functional. And then the next time there's a pattern sale, I'm going to purchase that Simplicity pattern that came out for their Halloween patterns, where it's a Zoe Washburn from Firefly and a Jyn Erso from Rogue One costume pattern, and that has the shirt. So I'm going to get that to make the shirt. I might use that pattern to make the vest, although their vest isn't really that accurate. It might be a good place to start off of. But this was a good, like, college try that I gave this shirt. So it didn't work out for me. But cosplay and sewing in general is a learning curve. So, yeah. Sorry this video is probably the most boring thing you've ever seen. Hopefully part 2 and or part 3 will be more interesting, but for now this is what you get. This is all I have to give you. Thanks.